May the celebrations begin, and it is one of the best days. If you're talking about Monday blues, forget about it, because 295 runs, India have beaten Australia in Perth. Let me repeat that again. India have not beaten, they have crushed, thrashed, humiliated Australia in their own so-called fortress of 4 international test matches.
My favorite word. Shellacking.
Shellacking, yes. Absolutely shellacked, absolutely humiliated, and India have taken a 1-0 lead, and clinically, with the bat, with the ball, Australia miles behind than India.
So if it's such a big day, it's such a historic day, why are you late? Why are you starting the program this late?
Blame it on another medium, if you may have to say.
Harshit sir's fault.
No, it is the medium's fault. Because we were involved in something else. They decided to take Nikhil on, but then they changed their mind, and that is why we became late. Isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking you. I asked you for that.
Or maybe one of us was just busy partying, planning for all the parties to follow.
Tonight there will be a party. We're going to celebrate because there's also going to be a auction.
There is a impending biryani party.
Yeah.
We shall do that.
Team members were really unhappy yesterday. One of the team members was really unhappy yesterday.
We'll do it in the honor of India's win. We'll try and break down India's victory and take a look at different aspects. But let's start with the kind of win that India has had. Now, one thing that we tend to do very often is greatest win. Because, very recently only, I think it was the Kanpur test match, India's greatest ever win.
Gabba.
Gabba, we were going greatest ever win. So this greatest is used very lightly. Is it one of its greatest wins overall? 2, is it India's greatest win in Australia? Where do you put it really?
If I have to look at the greatest ever win in Australia, I think Gabba still tops it, 2021. This is the most dominating performance I think you've ever had in a Sena country. Ever. Because this is right up there when it comes to dominance. But is it the greatest? Gabba is right up there for me still.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was looking at victory margins as well, India in Australia. When you look at number 1 on the list, so this is number 2, 200 odd runs, number 2. But the first is an innings plus 2 runs, 1978 Sydney Test. India didn't have to bat again. Even though you look at it, there weren't any centurions in that test match, but it was, let's say 49 from Sunny G, and there were, bits and pieces performance from everyone, just the team coming together, putting up that total. So, and in that day and age as well, I'm just thinking what it would have been, to just gauge the size of the victory, what it would have meant then. So, because there is, and even the Australian side back then also wasn't any easy side to take on. So it was the spinners who worked magic for you in Sydney. So will it be the greatest ever Sena performance or greatest ever India performance? Maybe not. I think you've seen a Gabba in recent years, then the 1978 Sydney match that I'm talking about. But this has to be right up there when you talk about top 3, top 5. It will definitely make it. Also, the first test match of the series, you don't always just win the first test match in Australia. Yes, you did it in 2018-19. That's when you won the first test match. It didn't happen in 2021. It's happened now. And for the fact that you didn't have your regular captain, for the fact that you didn't have your regular number 3, for the fact that you didn't have Ravichandran Ashwin and Jadeja, you had 2 debutants. For all those reasons, it should definitely be top 5 for me.
I mean, if you look at it, this is only the 3rd time in over a decade that India has won the opening test in a Sena country. Ever. Because you won in Adelaide, you won in Centurion, and now you're won here in Perth. So that's why this is right up there when I have to look at the most dominating performance. Although on the 77-78 bit, nothing to take away from India's innings victory that happened in Sydney. That was a series in which you won for the very first time in Australia, 1977-78. That Australian team was decimated by Kerry Packer defections, and they were...
It's a big but for that particular series in general. You were not playing the strongest Australian team. So that's that one issue. I'm not taking anything away. It's like 2018 when Smith and Warner won there.
Yeah.
So it was similar to that.
And this Australian team basically has the same core that beat you in the WTC final also. So they are a generational Australian team who's won everything. So this dominance, we would expect a 295 run victory margin from Australia doing it to India. Now not anymore. What this Indian team has done in 6 years is basically ensure that whatever happened for 4 or 5 decades prior to that, look at what this win has done to you. 4 to 5 decades ago, you had only won 4 test matches in Australia. Now, in the space of a decade, you've already won 5. That shows where you are going as a team, how confident you are in Australia, and basically, they just don't seem to have the clue. They don't seem to have the code to break Australia at this point in time. So, the hosts are in big trouble.
So are India winning the series?
I'm not going that far ahead.
Let him finish his point. Go.
Because Siddharth was, his thing was full of superlatives right now. So I thought that if he was
We have
that
10
sure.
days to talk about that. There is no test match in between. He hasn't had his chance. Yes.
Yeah. I think that this is a very defining moment in Test cricket at this point of time because, like we mentioned, 2018 there were reasons given that there was no Smith, there was no Warner, and that's why India ended up winning that series. After that, when India went, India had majority of the players were not there, but this was often said that this is something that happens once in a lifetime sort of a test match. It was a miraculous win for India, and I think that was something that doesn't happen too often. But this time, what this win has done is that it has sort of become a normal thing to win in Australia, go there and dominate them. It looked like that India has won a test match at home, and that's why definitely not the biggest win in Sena countries for India. I think I do agree with everyone here that Gabba was that one victory that has to be the biggest victory for India overseas. But this could be a very, very defining moment because Australia had everything they wanted. We often talk about India, that India does take home advantage, and that's absolutely right, and that's what Australia also did. And India, even after the scheduling was done, as far as what Australia had wanted, playing at Perth first, thinking that they would go past India over there and put pressure over India. But what India has done now is that they have sort of dominated in Australia, and they have shown that it wasn't a one-off thing or it wasn't a miracle that happened. That is something that that the Indian team can do on a very regular basis.
I think that's also primarily down to the fact that Indian players now more and more are getting used to these conditions, and that's something that we'll spend time in the coming days to discuss, and there are reasons behind it. This is the same Indian team that's struggling in spin-friendly conditions but is tending to do better overseas. That's also because they started putting this emphasis a decade ago, that we have to do well abroad. It's always something that you haven't achieved, you want to, and you're bearing the fruits of it now. You're now enjoying the fruits of that labor, or the change in attitude, change in mindset that you're trying to achieve then, now slowly and steadily that's coming about. So that's a completely different reason, and it's a very interesting study, by the way, if you were to do. But just to get back to this win, is it India's greatest? I mean, I've said it before and I'm not going to change. For me, Gabba still remains India's greatest win on Australian soil, even though there are many other very good contenders for that, and that's another discussion we can have for another day. We could probably pick 5-6 very good wins, but what this win is number one in for me is, I don't think I have seen a more dominating performance in my living memory by any overseas team in Australia. I haven't seen any overseas team come and dismantle Australia in a test match like the way India has done at Perth. I know that there have been higher victory margins as well. I know that South Africa also toured, but my point is, it wasn't this kind of dismantling. That like there could be another victory with a bigger winning margin, but there would have been situations where few sessions are shared here and there. Here it is literally 9-2. Overall, you had 11 odd sessions in the test match. That stands at 9-2, and dare I say that the two sessions would have come on the day one only, where you just lost those wickets, and that when you realize, actually, if you put it into context, even those two sessions they shouldn't have lost, because in those in those conditions you found out that 150 was also good. So, but you allot a session because of where the match is going. So if you look at it, it's actually, for me, all 11 sessions dominated. I can't now think any visiting team, any peak visiting team also come and dominate Australia the way this Indian team has done in a test match. And it's that dismantling is not just dismantling, it's ruthless dismantling. I think these are scars that will take long. Again, Australia is a team that can bounce back, and maybe Australia is the only team that can. If it was any other team, and why it's only worse for Australia, because they're not used to this. When do teams, yes, they are used to losing a test match, but it'll be tooth and nail, close, ups, down, this and that, and then they lose, they bounce back. This kind of way that they've been dismantled, I mean, my mind takes me, and I'd love to know everyone's thought, where Josh Hazelwood on the one day of a test match remaining, and he gave up in that interview post day 3, saying that I'm already thinking of the next test match. When have you ever heard an Australian player, no matter in what situation, those are the mental scars that this Indian team may have left. What did you make of
even
Hazel?
Andrew McDonald, after they were all out for that total in their first innings, he also did not look very confident with the team and how are they going to go about the chase. He wasn't sure about what a safe total would be to chase on this wicket. He said that with the first job in hand is to take the wickets and then see how we go about the chase. But other than that, I think that I personally thought of this Australian team as a very hungry team. When India is going to tour, I think they were building up towards this. The way they were, the kind of talks they were having on the host broadcaster, and the way they were leading up to the series, playing their domestic games, a couple of domestic games before heading into the tournament, hyping up India, so that the pressure is more on India, less on Australia, and not able to deliver on that. I think I have also seen this for the first time by an Australian side, and I would personally, I really think that I don't think that it's Australia who's underperformed. I think it's India who have really, really dominated.
I mean, the closest I can ever think of a team that has dismantled Australia so ruthlessly at home, I think it was that England team of 2010, Melbourne. Shot out for 98 in the very first day, then 513 by England, you win by an innings. That Ashes, they reclaimed it there itself. That is when, South Africa, they had some sessions of dominance, but then Australia fought it tooth and nail at that time. But England of 2010, that comes close. But I have to agree here. I have never seen, if Alan Border would have been there, he would have been fuming. You weak Aussies, you.
Exactly, interesting you talk about an Alan Border, because Australia, we know of this. That's the culture. They come from the sporting culture, the hard as nail players that they've had all throughout, who will never take a step back no matter what the situation, that a mongrel mentality that comes with the Australian team. For a team like that, a Hazelwood to say, I'm already looking at that. I know that it was unthinkable to chase 500 plus, but Australian team giving up, I don't know.
It wouldn't have happened.
Alan Border would be like, if you want to keep my name on this trophy, get another 11 guys. I can't have this bunch playing. He told Dean Jones, when he was batting in Chennai's heat, he was puking because of the heat, started dehydrating, things like that. He was his batting partner. You would expect your batting partner to say, come on, you're okay. He said, get this weak Victorian out and get a Queenslander in, a tough Queenslander. I don't want these sissies to be in my team complaining of heat and hydrating while he's batting. And Dino said, that's the reason he got a double 100. He said, okay, he considered me a weak Victorian. I'll show him how strong I am. And he said, that's how I fought on in that heat and batted, got a double 100.
This is the meekest surrender by Australia that I've ever seen. In all my years of following them for 30, 35 years, it's the meekest surrender. Because they never looked like they were going to be in the test match. 67
apart from the first session.
Not apart, okay, first session, okay, they got them out to 150, but once they were 67 for 7, gone. They were shot mentally and they never looked like bouncing back.
But see, again, I think we are talking more about how bad Australia was. But what I feel is that I don't think that was Australia.
Nobody is saying India is not great. The point is not even that. I'm talking about the Australian mentality. It's not about how bad or good they were on the field.
But I think
they could be even worse. But I'll never hear an Australian player talk like Hazelwood.
But I think it all comes down to the way India has dominated. See, what I feel.
No, fine. It's not that they've not been
Exactly.
dominated before. It's not that they've not faced defeats before. Right? They certainly have. Like, for example, it's not a test match and it's not at home. But let's say the way, India almost dismantled them in that T20 World Cup game in St. Lucia. Also completely one side. But you'll never see an Australian team, they can't say, okay, they played well. Next time
Exactly.
we'll handle.
Yeah.
This Australian team, like on third day, Hazelwood says that, I'm already thinking on next test match.
But why I'm talking about this is that I feel that I see something changed very suddenly overnight, because Australian team before the test match was very different as far as their approach was concerned, as far as giving up or not giving up was concerned. But as soon as they came into the test match, like you mentioned, Josh Hazelwood saying that, Andrew McDonald saying that, I think they haven't been maybe because I not as much as you guys, I haven't watched that much cricket, but what I also felt is why we have seen this change in mentality is a very big reason for that is the way they were dominated. I think after they were for 67 for 7, I think they never have been dominated like this. After a point, however much strong you are, at some point there's your breaking point comes. So I think this was their breaking point. That's how much India dominated.
And you will always remember this test match.
Yeah, exactly.
Test
That's
match
why I said.
that broke the Aussie spirit. That changed the Aussie.
No,
maybe
just for one test match.
No, but you saying that it possibly could not just if it is indeed that it's broken the Aussie spirit, it's forced them to change their general mentality. I think it could then also stem from the fact that India has been the only team that's come and beaten them twice. So
And
it
almost.
takes time to adapt to losing. So it happened the first time. Then you started respecting them as Australia. Happened the next time, now you respect them even more. Now third time they're dismantling you in a game. Then by that time I think you've accepted that this can
Exactly.
be the team
That's what I'm
and
saying, yeah.
you're saying. But still,
That's
it's a big
what,
change.
yeah.
While this is a comprehensive win for India, there's no doubt about it. I think, with what Hazelwood said yesterday, I'm not too sure if that's the feeling in the dressing room. I think this could just be a slip up from one individual.
But even a one individual saying.
I agree. It is a one-off, I would say. You don't really expect this, even from the fringes to the fringe players in the Australian setup, because we know how well drilled they are, how determined they are as sporting individuals. You don't expect this from any Aussie team, which has given India so much hurt in the past that no matter what happens in the series, they may still be saying, listen, we've got those trophies that you really wanted, but we may have lost this one, but we've still hurt you much more. So that will
bring 19th November again.
But there is WTC also.
Huh.
There is WTC
No, but I was
also.
thinking you're going there.
No, but even though India has. Yeah, sorry.
But
It's his favorite subject, that's why.
No, my favorite subject is also WTC. But again, and that
Not
time-
as much. You said WTC is okay, but 19th November.
19, yes.
That was a tough day.
Acha, okay.
But my point being, will the Australians be as bogged down as, let's say, Josh Hazelwood made it appear yesterday? I won't rule the Aussies out. I won't.
No,
rule the
you're saying they'll
Aussies-
come back.
because that's what they say about good teams. You talked that about India as well. That okay, we all thought that after.
No, but you didn't hear these noises,
I'm
from
saying
them.
After Bangalore,
They can
did we
bounce
write-
back, I agree. But saying this kind of thing, no Indian player also
Agreed.
would have said.
But that's what I'm saying. So did we write off India after Bangalore? No, we thought that this
Yes,
was.
that's
poking
because
the bear
nobody
movement.
spoke like that
Poking
in the
bear
Indian
movement.
camp.
Yeah, which is
But
what I'm
they-
saying.
they are.
Maybe.
No, I think-
Unless I have a
one-
question. Unless I'm looking at another reason. See, bouncing back, I'm not denying. Every team can India did, but you'd never hear a team say this while a test match is on. Unless, because he also said another thing where he said that can this be chased down? He said you'll have to ask the batters. Do you think that there is? I mean, are we reading too much, or there is this angst that the bowlers have with the batters with the way they've performed?
No.
It tells me that it tells me about an individual's perception about the team.
Because it happens in a lot of cricket teams. I know that I have seen closely. I'm not just talking about the Australian team. Even in international level, at a state level, all of that, this bowler versus batting thing happens. Where bowlers also, but when you lose a match, what is this? We thought did that. You had to get runs. They got runs.
It happens in middle order, top order.
It's a team sport at the end of the day. It's a team sport.
Which team did it happen? Middle order, top order?
It happens in teams.
International teams also.
Yeah.
Do they wear blue?
Many teams wear blue.
during
That's
World
why.
Cups.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Acha, haan.
But I'm saying it tells me about there's actually so much that you can look at it in just those 5 words that go ask the batters, because it's a team sport at the end of the
But
day.
a lot is said in those 5 words.
Exactly.
A lot is said.
Because see, if there is even if the target was 600, it was for 11 men to chase it down, not 5, not 6.
No, but not Hazelwood, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
If a
I mean,
staff can give you those 30 odd runs, which
Sure,
are crucial at times,
sure.
who
But-
knows if there are 2 double hundreds, one from
no,
Manas
but his
Labuschagne.
meaning is they'll have to do the bulk of it. That's what he meant.
I
But
think we're
the
going-
onus is.
No, I also think that was a bit of tongue in cheek. While I can agree with the other fact that maybe there was just a slip that, I'm already thinking of the next day. Maybe realistically he was feeling like that. He wouldn't want to say it, but it just came what he was thinking, that feeling, that I'll still give. But him saying it in that curt manner, the way he said it, that can we chase? I said, you have to ask the batter. As a representative of a team, I don't think any team would take it. And by the way, I'll tell you, if I was part of that team, and I was a batter, and he had said that, and he had came and said this,
That's what
I
I'm
won't
saying.
have
It
been.
tells me he's looking at 2 different roles. There's a batter bowler divide in his head.
yes, yes.
And it should.
If
be.
you're a batter, you're happy listening to that?
Absolutely not, because you're undermining me.
Yes, I agree.
No, I think
Anyway, this is not surprising. You know why? Because a similar bowler had criticized the batters in a much more, you may say, direct way 11 years ago. Lords, Ashes Test of 2013.
11 years ago.
Yes. When Australia just meekly surrendered at Lords in 2013, James Pattinson came up and he said, I have to blame the batters for my back stress fracture, which got aggravated because they are not giving the bowlers that much of rest to ensure we turn it around. So that was an even more blatant criticism, and Hazelwood, I would say, is not tongue-in-cheek. He's highlighted the brutal fact that Australia's batting in this WTC cycle has been woeful. Manas Labuschagne has struggled. Steve Smith has struggled. Only Travis Head, Mitchell Marsh to a certain extent, Alex Carey. In the top order, when you look at it, Usman Khwaja, that's it.
On a lighter note, were we scared when Travis Head was smacking the ball all around the park?
No way. In fact, I put
I was happy that at least the game was getting
but I
delayed
agree.
as well.
No, I agree. I put a tweet out, something like I'd written, Dhage khol diya, whatever, something. People are saying, nahi, sir, your head is batting. I was like, for God's sake, you're chasing 500 plus. I mean,
Exactly.
my point is, why is it that we sometime, I'm not saying everyone, but we Indians are also, no, like very careful, like, oh no, this can happen. Australia, maybe because we've been bruised by Australia so often, and more importantly by Travis Head. So I think that, but this is like, I mean, even if Don Bradman was batting, I would not be
Not
worried.
even,
Yeah,
I
come
wasn't
on.
even given 1%.
There were people. I was shocked.
was
He's saying,
happy.
sir, abhi mat bolo, abhi head ka, he's done this. I was like,
I
what
was
do you
really
guys-
happy the match was getting delayed, the victory was
so
getting
you can
delayed.
come late to
We
office.
can come.
You
yeah,
know,
at the time.
if you look at bruising, I mean, I'm very surprised. That's why I think in this current generation has to open up on the bruises that, the previous generation was subjected to. Just take a look at how many times India has mentally bruised Australia, 2 times. They have ended a 17-match winning streak in test matches. Eden Gardens and Waka. At Waka, they became the first Asian to win at their so-called fortress. This is not a fortress, Optus. Only 4 tests old, you can't call it a fortress.
Excuse me, we called it a fortress when the series was starting, which said that this is their new fortress.
New, yeah. New
4 match
for-
old.
But it's breached.
We also got the question, what is the most hyped or what is the most bizarre creation in cricket? Optus being a fortress or baseball?
No.
We did that. We did that.
Yeah. But everyone accepted that this was a fortress. Everyone said Gabba is not. By the way, now again you're doing that same Indian thing, not giving credit and being. They have breached a fortress.
2 fortresses now.
This is their
consecutively.
fortress because what did we say?
Of
Australia,
all
no.
venues, this was
Their fortress.
Yes,
So
of
we
all
have to.
venues,
And
because
secondly,
Gabba
we
has
had
been
said
breached
that.
twice now.
Yeah, and they had said that we had planned
No.
the series in this
Yeah.
way. We planned the series in this way that look how Australia have planned to kill the Indian team. First match only at their fortress, then pink ball. old scars. Then
Gabba.
you go to Gabba. So planned by the time you reach third test match, you're cooked. You're done. So they've reached the fortress. Now because they've won it, you now downplay.
I mean,
think they're
I
reading
never
too much.
considered it a fortress for two simple reasons. One, you only played 3 games. This was the 4th test match there. Okay. Second, India has achieved success in far greater situations also. Waka, they breached in 2008. They became the first Asian. And no Asian team since then has ever won at the Waka. Second, they ended 33 years of Gaba dominance. Okay. Gaba ka ghaman toot gaya. So 17 game winning streak ended twice. Gaba ka gaman toot gaya. Perth fortress breached. 2 fortresses breached.
Line for Perth also somebody had suggested, na?
Perth ka pataka,
Something there was a super
patkana, something of that kind.
पार्थ में पटकाया पर्थ में पटका
पार्थ को क्यों पटक रहे हो यार तुम?
पर्थ में पटकाया
हाँ, पर्थ में पटका.
Adelaide का
Akkad.
Adelaide की अकड़.
But I think, Josh Hazelwood did not say anything wrong. He was right. I think he did not want to get too much into how going about the target, how the Australian team is going to go about it. So I think he said that you should ask the batters. I think because I'm just getting to it. I think because
have you been part of teams in your life?
yeah.
You go out and say that your team takes it.
No,
I
yeah.
have never been part of a team.
Yeah,
If I went and
that's
said
right.
that, even in my school team, if I had gone and said this, na, and they found out that this is a sideline, yeah, you would have been dealt with. In teams, you can't say,
But I think-
ask the batter. If you're the rep that day,
Yeah.
if you're the representative of the team who's speaking to the media, you speak for the team. You can't say, can you chase this total down? Ask the batters.
No, but this.
Shashwat's a part of a team here in office
No,
also.
but,
It can come around.
but which team?
Which team? He doesn't consider you as team
No.
member.
You're talking about something else. But what I was trying to say is that if many a times when somebody comes to the press conference ahead of a test match, even they, when asked about the combination, about many stuff, they also are not very sure.
No, Shasha,
about
that's
it.
different. That is not having a knowledge about it. So, for example,
Yeah.
if you're not the captain, you don't have the knowledge whether somebody is playing or not. So, you can say, I don't know, sir. The captain will decide who's playing or the coach will decide. That I can't. In this case, it's about, it's like, you are the representative, you're a batter and you've gone out. And even if you're defending something, let's say, you're the bowling team and you're the captain and you're a batter, you've gone out, you think you can dismiss them below 200? You're not going to say, I don't know, ask the bowler. You're going to say, yeah, we're going to try, we'll have to come up with a plan,
We'll
we'll
have
bowl
plans in
this
place,
thing,
yeah.
we know that we've done it in the past, something like that. Yeah? You don't throw your batters under the bus or vice
Openly you
versa. Yeah, it was that.
Openly.
And it's not, by the way, a lot of people, Michael Vaughan doesn't need another reason to criticize somebody. He was criticizing. A lot of them were criticizing.
Quick question for you all. There's a ardent cricket loving fan of mine, a friend of mine. He says, Jasprit Bumrah for Prime Minister. Where are we on that?
Okay, let's do it. No, not for Prime Minister. Open up a can of who's your player of the match? Doesn't matter what the.
There are no questions, I think.
No, there are three. Okay,
3 contenders.
Three contenders.
3 contenders, but outright there's just one.
No,
Just
so
Bumrah.
that's your choice. It'll come to you.
We'll have a poll as well. Let's have a poll on that.
So, okay, you can have a
could be
poll on
divided.
that. Shivam, let's have a poll.
I don't
So,
think anyone will
Who's
be
your
divided.
POTM?
see, 3 contenders, no?
Jaiswal, Virat, and boom.
Jaiswal, Virat, and boom, boom. So you can start. Whoever he wants to start, he can start.
I think outright. See, I genuinely believe that Virat, KL, and our new captain. That's why I have to now back him.
Oh, what has happened overnight? I want to
He's
know.
our
Can I just
captain
go
now.
and clean my ears? What did he just
Something
say?
has happened. I think something happened after office.
Captain.
What happened?
Nothing happened. He's just a skipper. I have to
Some-
deal with it.
Is
I
the
have to
cold
deal
weather
with it.
impacting him?
I have to deal with it. Please, I don't want to talk about that so much.
Green wash, white wash.
No,
some
but
wash
he
is
played
different.
well. No, he played genuinely. No, Virat, KL,
Let's say that again, our
Jaiswal,
captain.
Virat, KL, Jaiswal, and Jasprit Bumrah. I think it was a team combination. In fact, Mohammad Siraj, there were many questions on him. Harshit Rana, for that matter, everyone has contributed. But the top 4 performers, the ones I named, but Jasprit Bumrah, just because he,
Four. Which are the 4?
Jaiswal, Virat, Bumrah and KL Rahul. These 4 people, I think they were the people who actually
The pillars of this.
pillars of this victory. But Jasprit Bumrah started to make us believe, because at 150 the team, I think India was out and out. There was a lot of pressure on the Indian team. Many things had started to haunt you. Started to think about what happened in that New Zealand series. But what Jasprit Bumrah did, he started to take those quick wickets. And I talked about this at the end of the first day also, that it was just 150 runs. Even 20-30 runs if would have come, then I think situation could have been very, very different. Just to take those wickets so consistently and keep not letting the pressure off, I think that was very, very important, and that's what Jasprit Bumrah did. And then everyone started to chip in. So I think Jasprit Bumrah out and out. After that, if there would have been another person, if somebody had to, second option for me would be Jaiswal, because more runs than Virat. Otherwise Virat, nothing much to separate the two. But Jasprit Bumrah, Jasprit Bumrah.
Jasprit Bumrah, no doubt about that. Jasprit Bumrah the bowler, Jasprit Bumrah the captain, absolutely spot on. I want to talk about the captaincy bit. By now everyone knows he picked up 8 wickets, but look at his call to declare at the point that he decided to declare yesterday. The vision to want to have a crack at the Aussies twice. Once, just around twilight yesterday, and then this morning as well. The opposition's come up fresh, they're under pressure now. You were taking a chance yesterday evening that, okay, if I get 2 wickets, I know there's only one side that's under the pump. I can make it worse for them if I come back tomorrow. When they're fresh, they need to come reset. I have a crack at them again. And he's the one to lead it again this morning as well. So I love that approach. I love that attacking mindset. Yes, of course, the batters had given him that confidence to take that call as well. But a very, very well-timed call by Jasprit Bumrah. And of course, the bowler in Jasprit Bumrah, less said the better, because you really need to come up with a new dictionary to find adjectives that already don't exist for Jasprit Bumrah and would not have been used if they are there out there. Because every ball that he bowled looked like a wicket-taking delivery. That's how lethal he was, especially in the first innings. The second innings as well has a crack at the opposition. Terrific stuff. There's one bowler you don't want to play in the world right now. Across formats, there's only one name over there.
3-zip. It has.
That's right. No.
It has to be Bumrah, because he opened the game up with his 5 wickets, declared at the right time, got those 2 wickets of the top order yesterday. And today, when Travis Head was going all head guns, he was the guy who got the wicket. So whatever Bumrah does, it turns to gold. So that's why it's 3-zip. It's Jasprit Bumrah.
The poll is up. You can quickly cast your vote as well as to who the player of the match for you guys is. And I think I'll make it 4-0 by saying Jasprit Bumrah. Much has been spoken about his bowling, so I won't spend time over that. Also, his wickets are the crucial wickets. It's not just the 8 wickets that I'm looking at. Those are the important wickets that he picked up for you at important times. But more importantly, the captain that he is, he seemed calm and collective, despite the fact that Shashwat here was saying that his captaincy wasn't his alone, and Virat was also helping him a lot in making the decisions. But at the end of the day, the credit goes to the...
It's all on tape, Shashwat.
It's all on tape. You can't escape it.
No, I never said that.
What
I
did you
denied
say?
that.
Acha, what did you say? Sorry, I forgot.
It was, see, being a senior...
You had said no, it was Bumrah only.
It was Bumrah. Virat was a senior player. He has won 2 series there as captain. He goes to...
One series.
As captain 1 series. Second also it was his team, na?
How was his... it was Ajinkya Rahane was
Coach
captain.
and everyone said it is his team.
Coach!
But it was his
Coach
team.
also said that it's the greatest performance by the Indian team.
But it was...
That's
Virat
not necessary, I may not agree.
Yeah, okay, then just one, if we are counting it like that, just 1 series victory, but second, so he was not part of then. But also, and it's not just like that, he's the only one who goes up to Bumrah and talks, gives him suggestions. There's another Rishabh Pant, there's an R. Ashwin, just because the camera is a lot on Virat Kohli, that's why a lot of people might have felt that he's the one leading and Bumrah is not doing anything. But I personally saw one instance where just Virat went with wanted the square leg to be moved at the bowling of Bumrah, and Bumrah did not want to do that, so he stuck to what he wanted.
So eventually it was Bumrah. So that's why I have picked Bumrah also, because of his captaincy, spot on in everything that he did. The only thing I disagree with Bumrah, the captain, is the team selection. I still think there is scope for improvement. You won it, doesn't mean that you will not, but that's not something we'll talk about today. The day is We will talk about selection, no?
Not like, it was a 50-50 and or a 33-33 split, and my vote would have made a difference, but I still voted for Bumrah.
You are. He's winning hands down. Though I must say that because we've spoken a lot about Bumrah, I must also talk about Yashasvi
Just
Jaiswal.
before that, Bumrah, the host broadcaster, had put out a full package of about 4 to 5 minutes of each delivery that Bumrah bowled. I was watching that on the end of day one, and I was just punching in the air. That's what his bowling really makes everyone feel. That's how good he is.
No, just on the subject of Yashasvi Jaiswal, I'll say also a big 100, very important 100 that he's gotten. One thing that is certain with him, hunger for runs. He gets hundreds, he gets big hundreds, 150 plus, that appetite. And what I love is that this is a young kid who's come in a generation of white ball cricket where he's doing so well in white ball cricket, plays with that kind of intent, and yet showed you typical test player instincts and the way he batted out. I know that this test match will be remembered for many things, but it will also be remembered for the prince and the king coming together. The young
was
prince.
Injured, na?
Prince is Jaiswal.
Oh, okay.
In fact,
Who's the...
Prince was injured, he wasn't playing this game.
There are many prince. Na? See, prince can
can
be
I-
many.
King, oh,
King is
yeah.
only one.
I'll add to that. In fact, not the broadcaster, not the host broadcaster in India, but many publishers, many dailies in Australia didn't go with the word prince. They went with the word the king's successor or the next king.
The next big
But
thing.
but can I be honest again? This also keeps changing.
Agreed.
The
But I just
successor,
want to add
prince.
on the Yashasvi bit,
I hope it is Yashasvi. He's
I
a
was
fantastic
reading
player.
into his prep, and of course, the team had its shoulders down after that crushing 3-0 victory. You lost to New Zealand. You had some days. He was in Mumbai. What does he do? The next day after the series is lost, he practices hard. He was doing 8 hours of practice. He wanted to then be looking at Australia. He knew, and he said to his coach, this series is done, but I want to focus on what's next. So he was doing 8 hours of practice since the next day of you losing the Mumbai test.
That's very, I think that's what he's learned from the beginning. I think that's exactly what he's got everything after working really hard for that, and that's the only way he knows how to succeed in life, in any format, in any game for that matter. And I think that's why he's so successful, and that's why he has this approach of, still, even after playing where so many players do not want to, sort of play too many practice games and all of these things, he's somebody who still wants to follow the process. And also, one, you mentioned that in the day and age of white ball cricket, he's sort of really made a mark in red ball cricket. In fact, I think absolutely opposite of this, that I feel that he was somebody from age group cricket who really did really well in red ball cricket. I think the switch that he made from red ball to white ball, that was even more fascinating for me, because red ball cricket, everyone knew since the very beginning that he knows how to score
but
big
there were
runs.
but see, big runs in Indian conditions versus big runs abroad. So you knew
Yeah.
that in white ball he can dominate anywhere in the world. I knew that about him. But can he play red ball? Playing red ball cricket in India, playing red ball cricket abroad was a big question mark. For the first time now, he's showing me that he can be a long-term red ball cricketer. Because in India, there are a lot of players that have come that have gotten runs from junior cricket in red ball, but they failed to make the transition overseas. But he's showing me that now he can be that player. Again, I will still reserve my judgment, because again, I have to put things into perspective. Those knocks in South Africa weren't great. Then when the conditions were tough in the first inning, when nobody got run, he didn't. When he did get runs, the conditions had eased out a lot, right? So let's accept that. So I think, which will be that last tick mark for him, and he's ticked all boxes, I think, will be like, it'll be a juicy pitch, everyone's struggling, and on that day, he gets you an 80. When everyone else has got 10, 15, 10, struggling against fast bowlers, he gets you an 80. That'd be like, okay, now, I think that's the only little bit that I'd want
Then
to
he
see.
can be called the prince.
Yeah, then the prince for sure. Okay, sorry.
I think, Jaiswal will have to, let's see one cycle when it comes, because 25 and 26, you are having 3 tours of the Sena. You are having 5 tests in England. That's one test that perhaps with the pitches now, he might ace it. But you also got New Zealand and South Africa, where India, unfortunately in this cycle, have never done well. be it 2020, 2019, 21, 21, 23, whenever they have gone to, except Australia, in the Sen countries, they haven't done that well. Okay. That's where if Yashasvi Jaiswal steps up, then I think you can call him all the names that you have called him, the prince, the successor, and all those kinds. I think I'll wait for one cycle, 2026 February, because when India go to New Zealand, that time you'll see how they've cope up at that.
We have a segment called Shivam Giri, which is ready. We'll be going to it very shortly. Before that, one final word on Virat Kohli, who also for him this test match is going to be memorable, gets that 100. There were a lot of question marks. I just want to say what Jasprit Bumrah has said in the post-match about Virat Kohli. He said, and very interesting words. I think this is a quote that we'll use for very long. He has said, Bumrah has said, Kohli doesn't need us, we need him. He knows what he needs to do here. He's the best. He has batted in tough scenarios all his life and he's in great space. He got a good delivery in the first innings, but he delivered in the second innings. The Indian team needs his experience. So I like that line where he says, it's not Kohli that needs cricket or us that much. It's we who need him. Anyway, what does this 100 mean for...
To me, though, it does definitely means a lot.
Please, the loss of vegetation.
To me, it definitely means a lot. This 100.
That's a lesson. Never doubt the king. Never doubt the
Or
king.
his successor.
The successor,
Anyways, don't
he
doubt.
doesn't.
No, I don't even doubt Virat. I think this is the condition and not get it was a friendly bet. But anyways, now.
No, but his knock again. Is another thing. Listen, we got to accept things. When we criticize players, we also accept. We'll have to accept things when they're wrong, because it's not that. At least I didn't think that he won't make runs. I thought he'll get runs here and there. He may not be the most dominant Indian batter. I didn't think that, but I did think that he'll use his experience, play one or two good innings. That may still be true, but I will accept this, that we all thought that the way for him to be successful was to start playing a lot of back foot cricket. I think that's the only way he can do it, but he didn't do it. So that's what I. You have to appreciate it. He stuck to his guns. He continued with his front foot cricket. Nice, stride in front. He would meet the ball, continue to play like that. Yes, added few more shots that, adventurous shots that we saw had been eliminated, like the sweep, the reverse and all of that. Yeah, all that. I agree. Became even more adventurous rather than going into his shell, said, no, I'll come out.
Really enjoying. Really enjoying once he was in
yeah,
late 70s.
but see, these were the you got to accept it, no? Because a lot of us criticize one. What did we say? He needs to go to back foot. Front foot is not working. He said, okay, I will get runs front foot, not going by back foot. Two, we said, why is he trying to be so eager? Trying to be so experimental, eager to get runs. Chill a bit, relax, wait. He did that also. He was eager. He was, the bouncing, jumping jack that he is. He was also eager in trying to experiment with his shots rather than playing the waiting game, the shots he played. And yet he became successful. So he did prove a lot of analysts wrong. So kudos to him. Which I think that's the reason that really fires him up. Whenever there are these things, you'll say, this he's doing, it won't work. He'll say, okay, I'll continue doing this, and I'll make it work.
But that's what I was saying. That's why I feel I've seen a very, very different Virat in this innings. I feel that he's not been that rigid. He's gone on other plans. He's tried to make a lot of changes in his game, and I think this could be very well be the revival of Virat Kohli.
No, but he was rigid in not going to the back foot. He
Not
continued
going
playing.
to the back foot, but opening the sweep. No, he did go on the back foot. He played the pull shot after a very long
that
time.
doesn't mean that he would not go. It's not that he doesn't play on the back foot.
Yeah.
When you say somebody is like you're becoming a predominantly front foot player than back foot, but he did not change that.
Yeah.
So credit to him for that, and yet getting also this adventurous thing. Many thought he should not be. Just sit back, relax, take your time. But he said, no, I'll do it and I'll still get runs.
Yeah, just to take off from there, again, it was very comforting as an Indian cricket fan to see Virat Kohli enjoy his cricket.
Yeah.
That's one thing we missed. The last time I remember him really enjoying being on the field was perhaps during the Cricket World Cup of last year, when those runs were flowing very easily. So regardless of, clearly that 100 was on everyone, not just, his mind, it was on every Indian cricket fan's mind. So naturally it had to be on his as well. But that didn't deter him from being a little extravagant, from being audacious also at times. And the reverse sweep to Nathan Lyon sort of summed up the story for me.
just one thing.
The one thing though, and that's what great cricketers do. Again, at times it's very easy for you to feel, okay, I've done whatever, 10, 12,000 runs in test cricket, and I've got all these 80 international hundreds. Maybe I don't have to change any technique. I don't have to listen to outside noise. You take it the way that you like it. But, despite all of that stature, Virat Kohli did make adjustments. And that's the hallmark, I think, of quality players and great players as well. You're always willing to learn and adapt. And he did so. Quick insight there. In the second innings, Virat was 6 centimeters back. We saw him take a guard which was far away from the crease. This time he was 6 inches back from the first 6 centimeters back from where he was standing in the first inning. So he realized he needed those extra couple of seconds perhaps that he probably will need.
6 centimeters.
6 centimeters.
That's nothing.
But again,
Is this much? Is this much?
but again,
It's nothing.
This is. I mean,
I
I think
didn't
that
get mistake on.
no. I think this is where sometimes this is over analysis.
Over-analysis.
in a
Where
game,
broadcaster must have done this.
In a game-
Over analysis.
But-
6 centimeter is.
it's a lot. It's a
No,
lot.
6 centimeter is this.
Yeah, that's a-
so. Do you even know that probably you can even stand 6
It's a game.
centimeter
It's-
आगे पीछे without really even knowing.
It's a game of fine margins.
It is, but six.
And
No,
in
but
Chero
no,
there,
no,
and
6
the World Cup story
centimeter.
would have been
Six,
different
no, no,
altogether.
6. See again how you look. 6 centimeters in terms of seam movement is a lot. So
Yeah.
this time it was this much. Second innings 6 centimeters more. Wow, big difference. 6 centimeters where you're standing. This is this much, yeah. It's like 1 foot. Like if I'm standing like this, and if I'm standing here, this is 6 centimeters. It's not
But-
gonna make any difference.
but
The
again,
difference
with
is if
that-
I'm standing here outside
we-
the crease, or if I'm standing here. Now this is the difference.
We know batters can get very
You need
fixated.
60 centimeters minimum.
We need batters again. I'm just giving him credit for that.
No, I'm not blaming you.
adjustment.
I said this is over analysis.
But again, and it came from somebody. Again, I'm not taking names, but you guys are smart enough to know who has been criticized for wasting his talent a bit or underusing his talent for being too fixated on technique. So
No, so then it's
No,
over
I think
analysis.
somebody's
pointed
out
Whoever
at
it is,
60.
it's over.
is it just
Yeah,
maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
60 then.
That's
Then
why
it
60
may.
centimeters.
They are not
I don't think
overanalyzing.
it couldn't have been 60. 60 is a lot.
No, but that's well. I just told you.
I don't
See,
think the margin was that much.
No,
Also,
many
no,
people
no.
are pointing.
This is 60. This is 60 centimeter. Now this is different. If I'm batting here, different. Batting here, difference. This is the difference. 60 centimeters, yes.
We can check.
6 centimeter cannot be. 60, yes. Then if it is, then we stand corrected. If that it is, then it has made a difference. Then it's a conscious decision.
But
Then
I
he has
doubt
looked at.
it. Again, maybe I could be incorrect with that. 60 centimeters would be like this big.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
could
but
be
that
a
is what
possibility.
for standing. That's the difference.
Again, just looking at his guard from the first name, I doubt if there was that kind of margin as well
No,
for him. And I don't think he was that deep. But
Okay,
anyhow,
that's
besides-
separate. I just wanted to go do something far more important. We had a poll where 83% of you have voted for Bumrah as player of the match. He's also won the player of the match. But if you needed another reason to love Jasprit Bumrah, I will give you one more. He came to the post-match press conference. He was asked about his performance. He said, I know that I have been given the man of the match, but if you ask me, I would have given it to Yashasvi Jaiswal. These are Jasprit Bumrah's words. He came to the press conference. He thought that knock deserved the man of the match.
I mean, modesty. I mean, it's really very nice to see Jasprit Bumrah have that modesty. But at this point in time, see, I understand the sentiment, team game and everything. It's simply magnificent. But Yashasvi Jaiswal, sure, he wrote the conditions. He managed 161. But then day 2, you have to understand. Only 3 wickets fell. Only 3 wickets fell on day 2. And that is why Bumrah set the game up totally. I mean, this is only for the thing that, okay, team, everybody should be rewarded, everybody should be in a nice mental space. And that is why he said that comment. So, yes, plenty to like about Jasprit Bumrah, plenty to like about the way how he's conducted himself in this match, plenty of things. It was, in a nutshell, the perfect test match for India, in a way. 90% it was a perfect test match because barring that first innings, where, okay, you still made a mini revival and got to 150, Pant and Nitish Reddy. But 104, then you notched up another 487 and another myth busted. Ricky Ponting had stated, India don't look like taking 20 wickets. In fact, Australia has not taken 20 wickets in the first test itself. And there is a stat, but then records and stats are meant to be
Ricky
broken.
Ponting will be asked this when he's back from the.
But Australia have never won a series after losing the first test.
But he's doing a good job.
I think maybe Australia missed their assistant coach also.
He's doing a good job. For
Question.
SRH.
Yeah, he's doing
Both the
a
Australians are doing well on the tables, on their respective tables. Yeah.
both Ricky and but Dan is not Australian,
Yeah.
but he is an Australian assistant coach. Okay, we have a segment much awaited, Shivam Giri, where our producer Shivam.
Giri.
No, we are only. This is a BGT show. Behave yourself. IPL show. We will be doing a
Jumping
lot.
the gun.
A lot as we go along. So we've got some memes. If he can show it to us, then we'll get started. This one is what?
This is the image of the day. This is
Okay.
Sports Today image of the day.
Image of the day. It is. This was. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying big wicket. This wasn't. The match was done, dusted, yaar. Sign, seal,
That
delivered.
celebration of Jasprit Bumrah
But the
also
image is
tells
very-
you a story.
Yeah.
There's a story in that image, that celebration from Jasprit, and everyone, Virat came running, everyone came running. See, that's not to say that the match would have been taken away from you. But again, you don't want to see one man you didn't want to see score runs against you. It was Travis Head. If there's one man who was instilling that 0.1% of fear in you, it was Travis Head. So well celebrated to the Indians.
This is a good one, which says just because nobody appreciated him enough, KL Rahul. That 77 very crucial, and this is from that film. Should we bow? Yeah, he is king. It's from that. I'm forgetting the
Avengers.
Avengers. Is it from Avengers?
I think so.
No. I don't. Is it from Avengers?
Wow,
We have a
that's the right man.
Bollywood. Sorry.
No. It is
movie
from that.
expert.
That's set in the jungle. He's a king. That film, I've seen it. Yeah. I think it's from that. Anyway, I'll tell you. Just slipping out of my mind. That film. That's dominated by African American actors. Yeah, and they have this hero who's based out of jungle.
I'm not the right
okay.
one for this.
I need you all to apologize to my goat. KL Rahul apology form to KL Rahul from date 23/11. Reason for behavior. The media convinced me he was done. I didn't watch the actual games. I only looked at advanced analytics. I don't know cricket. Mercury was in retrograde. I was jealous of KL Rahul. I will hereby respect KL Rahul, and I will not talk down the future of first ballot Hall of Fame.
Nikhil, you've
This
got a pen
is
there.
one of the
Can you check your pleasure? Do you have a pen? I think there's a signatory sitting right beside you.
I have not seen a more funnier post than this. Whoever has
And
put this
creative.
out, Krishna Lahoti, outstanding creativity to come up with this
I am taking a
form.
printout of
So
this.
take a printout, and Shashwat, are you going to sign it? You don't have to.
See, the media convinced me he was done. Oh, Shashwat convinced me he was done.
He is media.
Are you going to sign it or no? You still
I
maintain?
think we're just jumping the gun too soon for KL Rahul.
Okay. He's
Great
not
batting. I did appreciate that. Doesn't mean he did not bat well, but that doesn't also mean.
But you said that this could be the revival innings for
For Virat, I said,
Kohli,
not for KL.
But could it have been?
KL, to now what I said, 170 runs. What will they do?
If you smell what the king is cooking from rock.
It is from the rock, yes. If you smell what the rock is cooking.
Yeah, this is so.
WWE.
Next one.
Next one.
Hum jeet gaye. Is that? Huh? Is it that?
Yes. Congratulations, Team India. What a win. One versus Australia. In Australia, 295. Boom, captain Jasprit Bumrah. Virat Kohli, what a comeback. Meanwhile, Indian fans are saying, no, thank you. This is from Lagan when Captain Russell goes over the ropes. Okay, so we are just celebrating at this point. We don't know how to celebrate. That's the way.
Have your chai. Enjoy your chai. Okay, which one is DSP Siraj on duty? DSP सिराज ने भारत के सबसे बड़े दुश्मन को हिरासत में ले लिया.
But we should. But great comeback for Siraj too.
Yes.
He's a different beast in Australia.
But this is something that we had all kind of
not
envisioned. No, I remember saying that.
There were just two people back.
No, but that's okay. So people
Yeah.
know it. It's not about you and me. I said people saw that there is this potential in Siraj in Australia. That you have to start with him because in Australian conditions he'll do well. He hasn't been doing well otherwise, but in Australian conditions, and he has,
And he
no
wasn't,
doubt.
wouldn't have been too happy with the price he got at the auction too. So maybe today
Be loud, be confident when you say.
maybe he was not too happy with the amount that he achieved at the auction yesterday. So he wanted.
I thought he got a decent price.
No.
Could have
Then-
gotten a little
Every-
more.
No,
what
Hazelwood is
little
getting
more,
12 and a half.
Shami also got 10, na?
No, but Hazelwood 12 and a half, Siraj for 12 and a half. I to think Shami also got less.
But you know, somebody pointed it out the other day. Siraj got hammered in Chinnaswamy,
But Lucknow,
whereas
he's gone to Lucknow, right?
Hazelwood did a better job. So, yeah, I think it's there.
He's
We're
gone to
making
Lucknow.
too much, I think, same price.
GT, yeah. So I think
Say-
good conditions for him.
Yeah, he'll be a good bowler, but I think
In Ahmedabad, he'll
got
be
the price. That's fine. I thought Arshdeep went for more. Anyway, that's a different discussion. We'll have the IPL show again, like yesterday.
वो वापस आ गया।
For whom?
King is back.
I never doubted the king. I never doubted as in that he won't be back. In test cricket, I always said he'll be back. Not getting to a century was a different thing altogether.
You didn't expect him to be back in BGT.
No. For me, he was never gone. I always said in test cricket, I don't want, we talked about this many times, that Virat should be dropped with Rohit. I always said that Virat should stay. It should be Rohit who will leave first. So 100 was a different thing.
Oh, I like this
Good for a
one.
reason. That is
I
true.
like that.
But it's
booty.
how it changed. Goat, Nathan Lyon, did not have a great time.
It's the same picture, by the way, that people haven't.
Oh, this is from Kahona Pyare. DSP Siraj gets Cummins. That's
Oh,
Hrithik
yeah,
Roshan on the
yeah,
bike,
yeah.
and that is DSP.
I saw one more which was rather funny. That DSP bante hi transfer ho gaya.
That was yesterday. Tabadla.
IPL.
I know my Hindi.
Tabadla. Afternoon, Michael. Wasim Jafar. Afternoon, Wasim.
He's replying. We don't understand the context
No,
of
this
this.
is
yeah.
from that.
I know where it is from, but it's a
Where I
conversation
read
that they
from
were
other
having.
show.
Na?
Name?
It was
Which show was this? Narcos. Yeah, Narcos.
Pablo.
No, don't want all this.
No, I didn't see that.
Siraj after leaving RCB. No, please. Today Shivam Giri has been very.
KL Rahul apology.
That was this. Okay, we'll be done with this. Bumrah won this even before the toss. Captain knew where to stand. Okay. That was a different scenario. Okay, quickly. Whenever in doubt, apply cheat code. Bumrah. Not great ones. Thank you, Shivam. Bats like Viv Richards, bowls like Holding, feels like Chonty Rhodes. That's true.
That is
But the catch of the day was Jurel, though.
Jurel, yeah. Stock. When India needs weight, Bumrah be like, okay.
Shivam, please keep it to 7 to 8. That's it. We cannot do the full segment. Na? Thank you. Please, can we have questions now?
Questions, please.
This is like, you start watching reels and you don't stop.
And some of them are very average. They have to be very high quality. They have to make Shivam Giri. People have to work really hard. You are lowering your standards by putting anybody's. They should work very hard, like that guy did to come up with KL Rahul. Then they come on Shivam Giri. Everyone cannot just come on Shivam Giri. No. Thomas De Cruz says, let's say it the Virat way. Ben Stokes, what a win.
That's
So he like, मुझे क्यों तोड़ा आज Twitter पे हिल से?
I know, YK, when Stokes is
Two
saying.
more wins for Mutton Biryani Party. Famous win. Why two more wins parties
Series
today?
win, na?
Oh.
Series win.
He'll give us a party then.
He has to give it, yep.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pawan Holla saying India have never lost to BGT when they have won the first test. Indeed, it's true. In fact, Australia have never won a series when they lost the first test. So, yep. Virat in BGT is like saying, Nikhil, most test runs in Oz by an Indian ever. Anyway, was someone shaving head of Kohli ton at Perth? Promise status, underrating best of era? Who's...
No, we did spend a lot of time talking about Virat. I'm sure this comment came before, so we've spent a lot of time and pulled Shashwat's leg for that too.
No,
All of-
it'll happen.
It'll happen. Ashish Dhar says, good convincing win for India, but 14-day break before second test, maybe advantage for Australia. How many matches needed for India to qualify for WTC final?
They need to win 3 more.
But I don't think it's going to be an advantage for Australia, and I do understand the reason for the 14-day gap. It's a ping ball test after this, and you're also playing a practice game on 30th and 1st, if I'm
30th
not
and
wrong,
1st,
in
Canberra. Yeah.
against Australia President 11.
Yeah. Dhanush is like saying,
Rohit Sharma is already preparing with the pink ball, the nets.
Then why wasn't he preparing with the ping ball in the Geo Park only? There he was practicing.
Maybe
red
they
ball.
didn't have the same pink ball. Not at daytime, maybe he was like, okay, let me play with red.
Like Hardik Pandya, when he did not have balls, was practicing with red.
Yes.
Gulati sir's epic prediction indeed.
Everyone predicted apart from him, which he said you also predicted. Yes.
Maybe I might have.
I like it how when anything is right, Shashwat predicted it
No,
somewhere.
we did a whole dugout. I was the only one who said we are reading too much into Instagram posts.
I had said that yes, if he comes back, it will be great for Indian cricket. If he comes back, that's the way. But yeah, I might have done it. Dhanush is saying Sachin doesn't have Test 100 Australian winning cause. Yes, he doesn't. A draw in Sydney when he hit his first one in
I think this was to compare him with
1992.
Virat.
First one was
Sydney draw. 99 Melbourne.
Perth, he had 92.
Lost, no?
They lost.
They lost. Then 99 Melbourne, they lost.
Then they lost.
Yeah, they lost all. 2003 Sydney draw. 2007 Sydney draw. Adelaide draw. Yes.
Was this to compare him with Virat and such?
I'm guessing that's the
That's
idea.
exactly why. That's exactly
But
why.
they didn't have Jasprit Bumrah na, in India.
Exactly. And okay, let's not talk about the conditions today.
Yeah. Pawan Holla. India looks more determined after the series loss against New Zealand, whereas Australia looks mentally weak now. And if we capitalize in Adelaide, series is ours, yes. And by the way, it was their first test match, Australia, after nearly 9 months. So yes, they looked rusty. That is the thing. They looked really rusty in red ball cricket at this point in time.
Shubham wants to know that he's not too happy with the commentary being done in India. How can he get the Fox commentary?
I also want to know, please.
But I think you're getting it because I know a lot of people are listening to it in India. How?
Fox comment. No, the
Yes.
feed is. I'll tell you what. I think the feed is of Fox that is coming. So on parts there is Fox commentary.
No,
on
that
parts
I
there
know.
is
That
Indian
always is the
commentary.
case. They
and
change. They
match,
have a sharing commentator sharing deal where
You're saying the
certain
full
stints.
they're
Yeah,
listening.
because I think I saw a lot of people in India putting out quotes from commentary of Fox.
No, because they I think they put a whole highlights package of their commentary at the end of the day. on
Okay,
their
maybe because of that. I don't know.
YouTube.
Maybe. But it's during the match it comes up, so it's not even
Oh.
end of the day. I don't know how they are. There could be a way. We can figure
I
it
really won't. I'll get if I try to come. If I
out.
can't
You're
come
also
down.
fed up with the thing.
Yeah.
Firstly, I'm fed up with that
Shore meter.
what is that called when you get the person to stand there?
Yeah.
That hologram thing is awful.
Man,
So bad
They had
production.
Murli Vijay on it who didn't know where to look.
not him. Everyone who's come on it looks so tacky. I can't tell. Why can't you have your guest on a window?
Exactly.
You want somebody else to join? It looks nice.
They
so
want
what?
to show that
You
they're
ha-
using.
Exactly.
This is
The
like
color
most
was
use of
so
technology.
bad. I don't want to. There was one thing that me and Siddharth were watching. You could not even see the presenter or the person. They were dark, black, because they're in the shade, and because using that, maybe the brightness is falling. I just there because you have it. you're
Sunny
using it,
G was
looking.
standing over Murli Vijay.
It's really bad. and the eye look too is so bad. It's how it looks like if I'm talking to him. It's like this. Otherwise, it's like. Yes, Siddharth, you are right. I have seen it.
Like Vishy sir will do
Or
in
it is
the
like this.
IPL.
Yes, Siddharth, we can. It's like that.
Like he'll do in the IPL live that we do.
No, that he's talking to the camera, na, at
Yeah.
least.
Okay.
He's
yeah.
professional. You are unprofessional.
He still not understood.
I
No,
don't
I've
understand.
understood, but
He is making the mistake, and the guy who's doing it right, he's pointing out that he's doing it. He himself doesn't know how to do it.
no.
It's like, somebody is playing the correct way, and he's getting out for
whole
zero
day I was
and teaching
looking
the
at
guy who's
you
getting
and
runs how to bat.
Yes, no. Which is her whole day I'm looking at you and talking. You've not turned to me once.
That's why he was looking, and at least he knew his 11s, no, to make. He was making his 11s without MS Dhoni, without Ayush Badoni, and then sorry, I missed this one. Oh, I'm sorry, I've missed this one. He was concentrating.
Loose fellow. Loose. Yeah. So Ashish Dhar is like saying, after the heartbreak loss in World Cup final, India has made it a point not to lose to Australia anymore. See what happened T20 World Cup 2024 and now this test. Hold your horses here, Ashish. He's still four tests still there, and everybody saying maybe India are dreaming of a final. Let's hold our horses there also.
Shubham Garg says Gilchrist and Hayden had a segment where they pointed out that there's a rift between bowlers and batters on Hazelwood. Ask batters comment in yesterday's
We've already,
PC.
Shubham, discussed that. Initial part of our show is all about that. You can check it out. And probably his comment also came before we discussed that.
Yep. Rakesh Bhushan. Time Bumrah. Bowler. Bumrah, modest, humble, and have gone with their work. Waiting. With no fuss.
Captain Bumrah is a captain for the future.
You were thinking about
This is a long series.
I know, let's see. If he can play all test matches, then why not?
He's got a 50% win record now.
2 matches, 1 win, 1 loss.
it's for if Optus
I mean, as a style of play, clogging at the top, but could be dangerous at number 6. Thoughts interesting. What do you see? Rohit comes back. Said,
Gill, I don't think Gill is coming.
let's assume if Gill and Rohit are back, what do you
Then
do?
Rahul should come in the middle.
Middle.
Rohit, yeah,
Should Rohit come in the middle?
So if Gill is not there, then Rahul opens and
three.
Rahul at
Rahul
3.
comes at three.
So Rohit is opening,
Yeah, yeah,
irrespective.
Yeah, for Rohit opens.
Actually, now that I think of it, if Gill is not there, not a bad option to have KL and Yashasvi open and Rohit at 3.
Exactly. And his troubles with the seaming ball, and you know, thought the two of them look up top. Also, I'm not saying
His test
Career
career revival started as an opener. I agree. No, but I'm saying in these conditions, used to it. That South Africa series, I remember, when a little bit of old school test cricket. Maybe it'll work for Rohit also. He can come start attacking from the word ball a little bit if they've spent enough time there, made the ball a bit old.
The only issue there is that as
Anyway,
soon
you
as
are
Gill comes-
everything is makeshift arrangement nowadays.
18, 19,
KL is
I remember he
anyway
played-
becoming makeshift upar niche everywhere. Na?
18, 19 Rohit played in the middle order. Yes, I know.
No,
they
no,
were-
no, open.
No.
That South
18,
Africa
19.
series, yes. South Africa, he opened.
No, BGT I'm saying.
BGT,
was it?
yeah. But after that, he started
Yeah,
opening.
and I think there was a 40 odd that he scored. Again, there weren't any 50s or 100s to celebrate for him, but he got those, 30s and 40s at times here and then. So I'm just saying it's an option that can be explored. Adelaide, I think he got a 40 odd.
He got a 50 in Melbourne, if I'm not mistaken. In that series, yes.
Another super chat.
Yeah, so Science for All is saying Bumrah should be our next WTC cycle captain. No brainer choice. Is it possible? If Pat can do it, so can Boom. Side note, SRH look. See, it all depends on the next cycle. What saying Shashwat, today channel 7 Fox were doing comparison of KL and Labuschagne Smith contact point, telling them to learn from KL. Please don't ridicule KL the way you do.
By the way, a lot
This
of
is a little too much now.
criticism of Labuschagne for Australia. Look back the years before that was getting the highest runs. I was looking at records by ground and majority grounds, and from 18 on. Few months haven't really been great. Really looking susceptible. Under the pump. Shubham Garg says first innings he was 2 meter ahead. Second innings he was 1.4 meter. So it's 0.6 meter. Yeah, which is That is why I said that there is a big difference. That's about 60 centimeters is what you're talking about. That I agree.
Okay, so it is.
Okay, we're having an issue with our feed, so we'll take your leave. Thank you very much for joining us. IPL auction coverage continues. We'll be live then. For the moment, from all of us, take care. Bye bye. See you soon.